Why the Schumer shutdown gives America First incredible leverage. You guys, there's so much with this whole circumstance. We are day 9 into this shutdown, and my goodness, there's irony, there's humor, a waste of $20 million from the Democrats thanks to AOC, meme battles. I mean, it is remarkable, and we are just gaining and gaining leverage over this whole circumstance. Welcome to another episode of Archie's Briefings, you guys. I'm your host, Arshel Branch. Now, before we go ahead and take a deep dive into this video, go ahead and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Like this video, share this video so we can keep growing the views, growing the channel. We're almost at 1,000 subscribers. Okay, you guys, let's talk about this. The Schumer shutdown gives us leverage. Now, what do I mean by that? Well, let's start with the irony of it all. The beginning of the year, not even just the beginning of the year, but during the election when Project 2025 came out, oh my goodness, this is going to destroy the American people. This is going to ruin democracy. President Trump takes office. Oh my goodness, he supports Project 25. This is going to destroy democracy. Then we get to the debate of whether or not the Congress should pass or if the government should pass the one big beautiful bill. I did a whole video about it. You guys go ahead, find that video. You get my thoughts and opinions about what that bill is. It ain't quite Project 2025. There's some things in there, but it's not the whole thing. Anyhow, go ahead and watch that video. Scroll up. You'll be able to find that video. But some things that were coming out of this bill, the one big beautiful bill, that we're actually seeing take place. There's a fallout of it because of it. And so why do I find this whole circumstance to be ironic? Because the Democrats were saying that, oh, the Republicans want to ruin lives. The Republicans want to hurt American citizens. Yet in this shutdown, that's exactly what they are doing, right? That's exactly what they are doing. Democrats focused on the Hatch Act, talking about how he had this message on the HUD website. Never mind the fact that people are about to be kicked out of their homes because there's no more funding, or that the funding is going to run out most likely by November. So before I go on with any further on my diatribe as to what I think about this, let me show you guys a couple of videos, and then I'm going to tell you why this means leverage for America First, especially for the financial agenda. All right, you guys, so this is the first video here, and it's specifically about the IRS. So IRS furloughs nearly half of its staff amid government shutdown. Here's what's impacted. Let's go ahead. The Internal Revenue Service furloughed nearly half its workforce Wednesday as the Senate failed for a 6th time to reopen the federal government. The IRS said about 34,000 of its 74,000 and change employees will be furloughed after its original contingency plan to pay workers using leftover Biden administration funding. I'm like, okay, I'm not going to let this IRS video go any further because there are additional videos that I want to show you. Now, part of Project 2025 and what the America First agenda, and really, I think all Americans, tax-paying citizens, would love the idea if the IRS just went away. We want to get past the bureaucracy. We don't really like them. They weren't here at the founding of the nation. Even when they were collecting taxes, I mean, this was not a thing. You can collect taxes without the IRS. We just would like for them to go away. We're supposed to feel sad about this. And I'll tell you, majority Black people, if not all Black people, we don't like the IRS. Black people don't like the IRS the same rate that they don't like the police, the same way they don't like that repo man when they come to take your car away. Like, yeah, we don't, I mean, listen, sympathetic, but we don't like the government. We don't like the IRS. And this is obviously what's happening here. Now I'm going to show you guys additional videos so we can get some more understanding about what's going to happen to other American citizens who are not government workers, but who are actually receiving benefits from the government. So let's go ahead and let's run those additional videos for you guys. Okay. Okay, guys, so the next video I'm going to show you is Chris Cuomo, News Nation, where he sits with the Secretary of the HUD. So this is quite fascinating. Now, when this whole thing started with President Trump and the administration putting the message that was very partisan, everybody wanted to focus on the Hatch Act, which really is at this point irrelevant. Who the heck cares when people are going to be dealing with what they're dealing with now? And you actually get a real response, a real answer from the Secretary of HUD to really tell you what the case is looking like. Let's go ahead and let's run it, okay?
How long without your services can people go before they don't have a place?
You know what? It depends on the program. And like you said, and I'm glad you said that, because that's what's in jeopardy. Every day that this government shuts down is a day that puts the most vulnerable people in our country in a very hard and particular situation. And so it depends on the program area from HUD. But we don't need to be shut down. We need to be responsible, and we need to get together and say, hey, how can we open this government back up to serve the people of America? And that's my focus here.
And you have people.
Okay, well, that's it. That's really all I wanted to show you guys. The Secretary had Chris Cuomo, you doing your thing, but really it was from him. Okay, so what did we hear about that? right? As longer the shutdown goes on, the more people are more likely to suffer the consequences, to be collateral damage, because the shutdown just refuses to be over. The Democrats are not willing to reopen the government the way that the budget was supposed to go. Just fund it for the period of time. Don't make any new deals. Don't try to do any of that. Just keep the government open, right? And then you can keep these systems going. But just a day before yesterday, you guys, I was showing you what was happening with the food stamp debacle and how that ended up landing this woman to be charged with committing a crime because she couldn't get her food stamps. I mean, people are actually suffering out here. They're collateral damage in this political game that the Democrats want to play. And it is obviously astounding. Now, let me show you guys the next in the final video. And then I'm going to tell you why this circumstance, not a pretty one, but why it gives us leverage. So last video, just so you can see real people actually talking about what's going on here, and then we'll sum everything up, okay? All right, guys, bear with me. This is the last clip where this individual actually speaks to what's going on today with this government shutdown. So here we go.
Government shutdown that we're under is affecting a lot of different things. From TSA workers simply not showing up to work because they won't be paid, to federal workers waiting for their next check to come because they won't be paid either. And for those under Section 8 housing, you may not get your Section 8 housing paid next month if this shutdown continues.
Yep.
Most housing authorities across the country receive a check from the government to pay different households Section 8 housing. Housing authorities got their last check on September 30th, and they're relying on whatever sort of savings they have to pay for November's rent. Some of them have that extra money, but some of them don't. And for those housing authorities that don't have the extra money to pay November rent, the landlords who accept Section 8 housing will not get any check, and that impacts them too. The last government shutdown only lasted for 30-something days, so
25.
It is expected to end by the end of this month or a little after that. But of course, there's no guarantee.
Nope.
Specifically in Central Texas, I spoke to the Central Texas Council of Governments earlier this week, and they pay rent for more than 2,000 households. And they receive up to $2.3 million to pay for Section 8 housing here in Central Texas. They're okay right now. They paid their October rent for their households, and then they have just enough money to cover November, according to their executive director. But the hope is, again, this shutdown ends as soon as possible. So,
okay, so that's pretty much it, you guys, right? So obviously I think this is a good thing, you guys. So obviously they're going to have what they need until November, at least in the state of Texas. This might be the case in other states as well, that they might have up until November. We shall see moving forward if this shutdown goes on till, for another 35 days. We shall see, we shall see. But let me come out of this, and I'm going to tell you why I think this is a good thing for America first and for the agenda that we have. So let's go ahead and let's do that now, okay? So as I said, you guys, why do I think that this is going to be leverage for the Trump administration for the America First agenda? Now, already, you guys, we're seeing people being evicted from the Section 8 housing. Obviously, we're getting illegals out of the housing as well to free up more opportunity for the American citizens who actually do need the aid and all the rest of it. Look at the results of this shutdown already, right? IRS is cut down to half its size. Are you kidding? Who's got a problem with that? I'm totally okay with it. I'm not saying I'm not without sympathy for the people who are, losing their jobs. But you chose to work for the government, and we don't believe that the government should be this big. You are too involved anyway. So I got no problem. Slash it, cut it down to size, automate some of these positions totally for it as relates to the IRS. Coming to the Section 8 housing now, obviously, we are seeing people being evicted already because of the decisions that were being made earlier this year. And now here we go with the shutdowns. We were already making strategies and taking actions to try to protect the dollar by slashing from the spending. That's obviously the whole point here. To preserve the wealth of the country, we need to do something about that $37 trillion of debt in counting. And slashing benefits is a way to do that. But we decided that we weren't just going to cut it all together, to slash it all at once, that we were going to gradually move forward with this. And that's exactly what you're seeing, that people who are on Section 8 were going to be told, if you've been there longer than 2 years, you're going to have to suffer those consequences and be kicked out. You had a period of time. Come November, if that bill isn't getting paid come December, you're going to have a problem. You're going to be told to be evicted. You're going to have 30 days in some cases. If you don't meet the standard of the, inspection checks, they're going to only give you like 24 hours to 3 days, most likely. Don't have a man in there. Don't make more than you're supposed to. Don't have it, be a hot mess and not clean. Don't abide by the rules. You're going to be getting kicked out in less than a 30-day period. These are consequences to not trying to be responsible, accountable adults. And this administration and America First, our whole mission is to get as many Americans to be self-sufficient, independent, decent, law-abiding citizens. That is the goal. If it wasn't enough, just because it was the morally correct thing to do, now we're going to force you to do what is best for you and inevitably good for the entire country. The longer this shutdown happens, the more America First gets to see what else you can cut from this budget. I am fine that the IRS is cut down to half the size. And those who are going to suffer from the Section 8 thing come November, if from November to December, you find a way to compensate what the government is no longer able to subsidize if the shutdown lasts longer than the 35 days, which is likely or plausible, call it what you will. What does that mean for you? Well, it shows the government that you have the ability. You were able to pay that December rent without the government to subsidize it. You were able to pay for your groceries without the government having to subsidize it. Do you really even need as much aid as you're getting, or do you even need the aid at all? If by the end of the shutdown, we see that those who are on the benefits, who are getting benefits and on welfare, that they are able to do for self without the government, all that does is enable this agenda even further. It galvanizes us even further to say, I'm slashing this amount because they were able to do without it. If by the end of this, more Americans who are on welfare are more self-sufficient because they now know they can't rely on the government, thank you, Democrats. If they now know that they realize they have to do for self because you can't trust the government, thank you again, Democrats, then we would have achieved the goal. All because Trump sees the narrative with a meme, with a meme. We have leverage. I am not saying that in this battle that we are dealing with against the progressives and the Democrats that people are not going to get hurt. The difference, however, between what America First is about and what these progressive commies in America are about is that we want you to be self-sufficient and reliant. So the next time the government decides to shut down, it doesn't affect you this much. It doesn't affect you this much. I'm okay with the cuts. Now we know, yeah, the IRS can function if they are half the capacity. Yeah, Section 8 could be a thing as long as people are not getting as much subsidized aid as they were getting before. Yeah, society was able to function even in the midst of a shutdown. So all they're doing is showing how much power we, the people, have and how very little power they have, especially when they can't even fight back with a proper meme. So you guys get in the comment sections and let me know what you think about this whole thing. I think we've got leverage. What do you think about it? Go ahead and get into the comment section about it because I'm curious to hear what you think because, leverage. I love it. I absolutely love it. And it feels like we are winning this ID clear war game against the Democrats. It's amazing. So again, get in the comments, you guys. Thank you all again for watching. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Like this video, share this video. Again, get in the comments so that way we can continue growing this channel and become a member today of my Archie's FinTech Tech School community, where you guys will get additional content there that you can't get here on YouTube. And we can be learning how we can grow our financial positions. So love you guys. God bless. And of course, because it's me, Kepler.